I've been thinking a lot about questions recently, which is weird, but probably not surprising given how many questions I get asked every day. You know, sometimes I just want the questions to stop. And I don't think I'm alone. I hear a lot of people saying, "What's with the questions? Stop asking the questions." But what's so bad about questions? I think for a lot of people, part of the problem with questions is they're a challenge. They present a challenge. They're asked in a way that seems like a challenge. Like, do you not trust me? Or do you not believe me? Or why are you asking these hard questions? Why can't everything just be how I want it to be or how I expect it to be? And so we sort of shut ourselves off from questions because we find them too hard to deal with. And I don't think that's just happening on an individual level either. I think it's happening at the sort of social level, at the national, at the international level. We're kind of closing ourselves down and we're not allowing questions to be asked and we're not engaging with questions. And I think that's a real problem. See, rather than looking at questions as challenges to us, the way someone's trying to catch us out, recently I've been trying to think of them as opportunities to really engage with what the question is asking. You know, engage with the sort of issue that's in front of it, and the deepness and the richness behind that question. If we don't allow ourselves to engage with that question, then we miss out on that opportunity. A friend of mine was telling me recently about some questions that he's having at the moment, some questions about his faith. You know, this is a guy who's grown up always believing in God, with a family that always believes in God. And so I was asking him, well, how are you working through those questions? And he says, well, partly I don't feel like I can ask them. I don't feel like I can ask them out loud because of what people might think of me and what people might think about the life that I live. And that means that he sort of put those questions to a side. And those aren't bad questions. Those aren't the wrong questions to be asking. In fact, they're absolutely the right questions to be asking. But he's kind of not engaging, not taking that opportunity to really work through what it is that those questions are asking, what's behind those questions. And it's not new. This is not a new thing. There's an ancient story about a man called Jacob who had all of these questions, the same sort of angst and anguish about his relationship with God, his relationship with other people, his relationship with his family, all of these things. And he was kind of on the run, running away from these things. And one night, this ancient story says that he wrestled with God. And at times, this is an absolutely radical idea that you could actually ask questions of God, that you could bring your worries and your cares and your challenges, and that you weren't going to be judged, that you weren't going to be killed, struck down for even having these questions. And out the other side, Jacob wasn't untouched, he wasn't unharmed, everything wasn't all right. It says that his hip was dislocated and it gave him great pain for the rest of his days. These things affect us deeply. These questions, these challenges, when we tackle them, when we wrestle with them, they're gonna leave a mark. Things aren't gonna be the same. But that's okay, because Jacob came out the other side having a deeper sense of what his life was about, who God is, who he is in relationship with God. This was a pivotal moment in the history of how we engage with challenge and how we engage with questions. And I think we need to keep doing that. We need to keep doing it as individuals. We need to keep allowing ourselves time to wrestle, to really get to grips, challenge those questions. And we also need to allow ourselves the grace and the kind of time and the honesty to be able to do that as a society. You might be thinking, well, what's that got to do with me? I don't believe in God. I don't need to wrestle. But it does affect you. How many times have you caught yourself in a conversation with people and thought, I won't ask that question because it might make me look like a bigot. It might make me look stupid. And we do that at a kind of cultural level, if we all stop asking questions because we think we're going to look like an idiot, or even more importantly, if we call people bigots just for asking that question, then it reinforces the idea that we shouldn't ask questions, that we shouldn't engage with these challenging issues of, immigration, law enforcement, justice, social justice, whatever it is. If we stop asking those questions because we feel wronged or we feel stupid or judged for doing so, then we're not, as a culture, as a society, we're not giving ourselves the opportunity to really wrestle with them. So the next time you feel challenged or worried by a question and your response is stop asking, just take that opportunity. Think about how you can wrestle with that question, wrestle with that challenge, see what good can come out of it.